Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday, September the 13th, which means Nicholas is officially 9 months old, which means we are officially 3 months away from his 1-year birthday. I can't believe it. I feel like he was just a month old a blink ago, and now he's 9 months old. I finalized details with the venue today. I've got his cake on order, and now I'm just starting to pick up his decorations. I've got his theme all planned, and everything's coming along really nicely. Like, it's his first birthday, so I want it to be perfect. Saying that, I never did an 8-month update with Nicholas. I meant to do one, but then I just never weighed him, and I never got his height, and then I figured it was so far from his 8-month anyways. I was like, okay, I'm so close to the 9-month, I might as well just combine months 8 and 9. That being said, let's get right into this video. So Nicholas went for his 9-month well check appointment yesterday, which would have been September 12th, and he is 18.5 pounds, which puts him in the 50th percentile for his weight. He's 74.5 centimeters, which puts him in the 80 to 85th percentile for his height. And then he has a 48.5 centimeter head, which puts him in the 100th percentile. But the good news on that is his head at 7 months is also 48.5 centimeters. So it seems like it's plateaued a little bit. So a 48.5 centimeter head on a 7-month-old looks drastically bigger than it does on a 9-month-old. So his head's starting to even out with his body a little bit. To me, I can't even tell that it's big anymore. So yeah, so that's good news there. He is hitting his milestones for his fine motor skills. The boy loves rice. You can put a grain of rice on his high chair, and he can like pick up the one singular grain and put it in his mouth. He loves potatoes. He loves macaroni and cheese. He loves peas. He loves carrots. He loves toast. He's a carb guy. Don't know where he gets that from. He loves pasta. He loves meatballs. We have really strayed away from the purees, which we started to stray away around the 7-month mark and started going more into solid foods. I wouldn't say I guess it wouldn't be considered baby-led weaning, but we're kind of doing baby-led feeding now. He did do purees for about a month and a half, which were just strictly purees, and he does still eat some pureed things. So he still eats his oats for breakfast in the morning, and he'll still have like a puree every now and again, especially if we go out. He loves yogurt. He loves applesauce. He's actually a pretty good eater. I really can't complain. He's wiggling in his bed right now. Hopefully he doesn't wake up, because I really want to get this filmed. So with food, he's doing really well. His pincer motion, so his fine motor skills, he's checking them on perfectly. His gross motor skills, he's a little bit behind on. So he started inchworming or army crawling probably just after 8 months, and he still inchworms, army crawls. He doesn't go up on his knees yet to climb furniture or to climb up on me. He doesn't really do that. He is able to come from off of his bum onto his belly, but he's not able to go back from his belly back up onto his bum. He doesn't do any like standing really. He can stand at his activity center, but he's bearing most of his weight on the center, not so much on his legs. I'll put him standing and hold on to his hands, and he's more interested in bouncing than he is in taking steps. So the pediatrician basically advised that we took away the aids, so the walker, the activity center, and we kind of just helped him stand just using our hands, and that way he bears more weight on his legs, and then he develops the muscles that he needs to be able to pull himself up on stuff and everything like that. We are a pacifier-free home. Passy, Pippa, Stopper, Soother, I don't know what everybody calls them, but Nicholas no longer takes one. He was never big on the pacifier, so it wasn't that big of a milestone for us, but he lost that around the 7-month mark too. He's always been a fabric sucker. Even when he's a little baby, he used to stick his thumb in the sleeve of his shirt. He used to just suck on it, or he'd suck on his wrists, or he'd pull on my shirt and suck on it. So he has blankies, muslin swaddles like Aiden and I, just like the large toddler swaddles, and he's got one in the car with him that he sucks on in his car seat. He's got one in his crib with him that he sucks on it in the crib, and that's kind of just like his way of soothing himself, is by sucking on his blanket. We are officially sleep trained now, but here's the caveat: he's not sleeping through the night. So at around 8 months, I decided, so up until 8 months, he was taking all of his naps in my arms, and he was falling asleep in my arms. And then naps, I would just hold him for the entire 2 hours. And in the evenings, I would put him to sleep, rock him to sleep, and transfer him into his crib. Now, at nap time, I put him in the crib awake, and he just shuffles around, sucks on his blankie, gets himself comfortable, and he goes to sleep. Same thing in the night. We are getting longer stretches in the night, but he's getting his canines, I guess they're considered. So this one, his left canine is almost through. It's a really like white, sore looking blister on his lip, so that'll break the gum any day, I'm thinking. The right one is there's like a bump, but it's not as sore looking, I guess, as his left one. So I don't know how much longer that one's gonna be, but since he's got those teeth coming in, he's a little bit more restless at night. We were getting like 5.5 to 6 hour stretch, followed by a wake up every couple of hours. Now we're back to kind of getting like a 3-ish hour stretch, with wake ups after that every like hour and a bit. But just because he can't get himself comfortable, which is fine. The only issue with this too is when I go to lay him down in the nighttime, it takes him longer to fall asleep. He does some crying, which he doesn't usually cry. And I go and I pull him out, and then I'll kind of cuddle with him a little bit, let him get some wiggles out, and then put him back in. And then when I put him back in the second time, he'll still cry, but only for like 5 minutes, and then he goes to bed. So we did that. We've had a busy few months, haven't we? What else is he doing? So he's doing mama, he does dada, and he does baba. And I know like baba isn't really a word, but when we were looking at his milestones, or what he's able to do at his appointment yesterday, that was on there. So when he was probably about, it's very recent, so that he started going mama and dada. Before, he would go mama, 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 and da 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 da. Now he'll be like eating his potatoes and goes mama, and he'll just say mama. Obviously he doesn't know like it's me, he's talking to his potatoes. So that's really good. He looks for hidden toys, so he's got an obsession with balls. This little kid loves balls. He throws them, he'll like swat them, and he loves putting them under the couch. And then he like will lay, and he puts his head and he looks under the couch, and he tries to grab it from under the couch, but his little arms are so short, so he's have to help him. So he loves doing that. He loves his nursery rhymes. So we do not watch TV, and that's not by choice. That's because he will not sit and watch anything except for his songs. So we are a YouTube family. Coco Melon, ABC Kids TV, Simple Songs. He listens to all of them. He's a Twinkle Twinkle fanatic. He loves Baby Shark, Baba Black Sheep. What else? What are his other favorites? Do you like lasagna? He loves his songs. He's still into his content creators on YouTube, the same ones I watch. He still loves him a Trisha Paytas. He still loves him a KK and Baby J. I recently got into Impulsive, I don't know, one of the Paul brothers, Logan, I think, his podcast, and Nicholas will sit through it for like a half hour, and he just like looks up at the screen, listens, plays. He's really good that way. Like, I know like some other moms, some mom friends, like their kids want to be watching Peppa Pig or, you know, The Wiggles or Paw Patrol. He's got no interest in cartoons really. He does like Boss Baby, but I introduced that to him so young because he looks like Boss Baby. So he'll watch it just because he is familiar with it. But to start him up on a new show, he's not really interested. But if I've noticed that if I start him on stuff that's not cartoons, like he's got no clue what's going on. But like 13 Reasons Why, when the season 3 came out, I watched it, and he watched some episodes too. He just prefers like adult TV, and that's fine by me. I like adult things too. There's that. So he loves his balls. What else does he love? I always think there's like so much, and then like I try to go and there's like really not that much. It just feels like a lot has happened. And I think it's just because like I see him now that he's like a little bit mobile, like he's crawling, he's looking for things, he picks things up, puts them in his mouth. I think like as a mom, when you see them doing these like little things that maybe to other people seem little, and when you're trying to explain them are pretty little, but when I see him doing them, it's really like eye-opening. So he was a flower boy at my brother's wedding on September 7th, and he was pulled in by the ring bearer in a wagon, and he's never sat in a wagon before, and he did really good. He like kind of like shuffled his way down, laid back on the pillows, put his arms out, he sprawled, just took everything in as he was being dragged down the aisle. He's actually been to like 5 or 6 weddings this year, and he's been really good at all of them. But he wore a bow tie and a full suit with a vest and a jacket and pants. His little shoes. We've been spending a lot of time at the Early Years, which is like a program at the library, and he's been hanging out with his friends. And what I've noticed about him, which I think is like pretty cool, is he is a watcher. He is an observer, and he's a listener, and that's kind of like me. Like I've noticed like I'm kind of nosy, well not kind of nosy, like I'm nosy, and he's a nosy Parker. Like my parents will be talking, or like I'll be talking to my sister or something, and he literally will watch back and forth, and he can gauge by tone of voice like how serious the conversation is. And if like I make a joke and somebody laughs, or somebody makes a joke and I laugh, he'll laugh along too, even though obviously he doesn't get the joke. And I've also noticed that he's really cautious. So it took him a long time to come off of his bum onto his belly, because he had done it a few times where he bumped his head, and I think he was just worried about bumping it. But now that he's learned how to do it in a way that's a little bit slower, in a way that he's able to manipulate himself onto the ground, he comes off of his bum all the time. And I also think that that's why he's not really eager to do things, because I think he just like enjoys watching. My friend has a daughter that's the same age as Nicholas, born the same day. And she's like crawling, pulling herself up on things, and she'll come over to Nicholas and she like grabs him by his shoulder, like by his shirt, and like she'll like use him to like stand up, like using his body, and he just sits there and he just smiles at her and he pulls at her pants, and he's like just got a soft heart. Like he's just very mild mannered, and he's very quiet, and he's just okay observing. He doesn't really need to be a part of the action. I get all the time when we go places, baby showers, weddings, communions, baptisms, people will come up to me after and they'll be like, I forgot Nicholas was here, or I didn't even remember he was here, or he didn't make a peep the entire time, and he really doesn't. I got really lucky. As far as like wet diapers and stuff go, he poops all the time. He poops like 3 or 4 times a day, and then at least like 1 day a week he won't poop at all. I don't poop. He still pees like a man. He gets more baths. I bathe him more frequently now just because he's out more often and he's around kids more often. He's playing with toys that aren't his more often, and he sweats really bad. He'll like literally like make a sweat spot on the head of his car seat. I haven't transitioned him yet. He's still in his infant bucket seat, but I do leave the bucket seat now in the car as opposed to pulling it out. I just pull him out. I am looking to get his convertible car seat this weekend, and we're gonna go with the Clek Funf, CLEKFOONF. Clek sent me an email on the 15th. They're going on sale for 20% off. My coworker, he has this seat for his daughter, who's now 3.5, and he got it for her as the convertible seat. And his wife got one, and then they got one for the mother-in-law too, so everybody had the same kind of safety. And for me, that kind of just, it's a little bit more expensive, but when I was like looking into the seat, it just seems like probably the best. I don't want to say price isn't an option, because like it is, everybody's price matters to everybody, but I would rather spend a little more there and have it safe. I was thinking about, so that's basically it for my updates on Nicholas, but I was thinking about doing review videos, because I've got a lot of stuff and I would like to review it, because obviously like I'm a nobody, right? And I paid for everything, so I can give those honest reviews. I've got his fall and winter wardrobe, and I would like to haul that before I wash it and put in his drawers and switch over to summer clothing. And I want to do the controversial parenting tag. Now saying that, I'm saying I want to do all these things. I probably won't end up doing them, but the good thing is like I have more time now through the day, because Nicholas naps and he doesn't nap with me, so I don't have to worry about like him in the background playing or being on the camera or anything like that. And I can pump some videos out, but I've also noticed that like that's my time where I like fold laundry and clean and wash bottles and take a shower. But I'm hoping that I can find some sort of balance where I can get more content out, because I've really noticed that this time is going by so fast, and I really want to like document as much of it as I can without actually documenting it, if that makes sense. I take videos all day of him and stuff like that, but I want to know like what he was doing and when he was doing it. And I guess, oh, one more thing, he got a second tooth. He's got 2 bottoms now, so at his 6-month update, he had just gotten I feel like he had gotten his first tooth just after 6 months, and he got a second tooth just after 7 months. He got his second tooth on July 26th. The second one broke the gum. So now he's got the 2 bottoms. He's had the 2 bottoms for a little while. Like I said, he's getting his fangs in. The pediatrician thinks he's getting his front left tooth in as well, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in my next video.